Right now at 5, the new disturbing details in the dismemberment and death of a Decatur woman. The 2 men behind bars charged and the questions that remain.
Also at 5, ghost guns officially banned in the state.
This law will ban those ghost guns and others and will help keep families and communities safe.
The number that have already been seized and the crimes committed.
And a major ruling affecting female athletes, the equal pay decision for U.S. soccer.
Horrifying new details tonight in the disappearance of a Decatur woman. Good evening, and thanks for being here at 5.
WAND News has the sworn statements which detail what happened to the body of 41-year-old Norma Crutchfield. Her family reported her missing in November 2020. As we first reported to you last night at 10, 2 men, pictured here, now in jail in connection to her case.
WAND's Karen Eisert joins us live outside the Decatur Police Department now. Karen?
Troy Slaw and 45-year-old Troy Slaw and 23-year-old Chase Freeman are in jail tonight. They're arrested in connection to the disappearance of Crutchfield. Now, family reported her missing back in November of 2020. Now, today in police sworn statements, Freeman told police that Slaw stabbed Crutchfield in the chest at a home on East Olive Street. Freeman told police Slaw then dismembered Crutchfield's body inside a bathroom of the home. It was just days later when police reports say the men put her body in a garbage can outside Freeman's house. Crutchfield's family told WAND News they knew Norma was no longer with them, but to know the horrifying details of her death is earth-shattering.
It was pure evil for someone to do what they did. They won't never be able to locate her. They then got rid of her and put her in the garbage. And now she's out at the landfill.
In December 2020, Illinois State Police conducted a search at the home on East Olive Street where it's believed Norma was killed. In police sworn statements, it's detailed there is blood stains on the carpet, blood substances on the wall, and the DNA profile matched Crutchfield. Now today, a judge set Slaw's bond at $5 million. He's expected to appear in court again next week. Freeman will also appear before a judge then too.
Karen, Slaw was already booked into the Macon County Jail on different charges we noticed. Can you tell us what those are related to?
So police arrested Slaw earlier in March on aggravated domestic battery and unlawful restraint. Now, in a police sworn statement, it's detailed that a woman was hit and strangled by Slaw. They even report that Slaw referred to her as a hostage and that she couldn't shower and eat. So we'll continue to follow this developing story and bring you the latest. Dawn?
All right, thanks, Karen. If you want to read the full details about Slaw's case, head to our website, WANDTV.com.
Well, brightening skies for the time being over South Shores in Decatur, but although the core of steady rain and thunderstorm activity has exited stage east, there will be a couple pop-ups in terms of thunder shower activity for the next couple of hours. Nothing in terms of severe weather, so hopefully that's going to be the silver lining for you, but it's still humid outside. So the sun is helping to destabilize the atmosphere. It's a little bit later on tonight that will ditch the high humidity and get some more comfy weather in. But before that happens, outdoor dinner date index, the ODDI, is a 6. Keep an eye to the sky and enjoy your dinner. I'll be back with more in a bit, Sean.
So-called ghost guns were involved in 20,000 crimes nationwide last year. Now, these ghost guns are being banned in Illinois. They're made from kits or with 3D printers. They do not have serial numbers and are virtually untraceable. Governor Pritzker signed legislation into law today, which will gradually phase out the ability to own such guns. The governor says the law will help reduce gun violence.
A child should not be able to build an AR-15 like they're building a toy truck. Right. A convicted domestic abuser should not be able to evade scrutiny by using a 3D printer to make a gun. This law will ban those ghost guns and others and will help keep families and communities safe.
Bill's sponsor, State Senator Jacqueline Collins, says owners of ghost guns have 180 days to have them serialized before they are in violation of the law.
The Champaign County Board Community Violence Prevention Task Force heard from leaders and the public this week, and the city of Champaign presented its community violence reduction blueprint.
If we work in a partnership collaboratively instead of silos, we can do that because we have resources. We just got to band together and communicate so that, all the resources aren't in one spot, right? So that multiple families, multiple communities are being helped at the same time.
City officials say the three major goals in the blueprint are to prevent and reduce gun violence, community engagement and support, and data-driven decision-making. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office is being cleared of fraud, theft, and unofficial misconduct allegations. The Attorney General, State, and Public Integrity Bureau investigated allegations of theft from the sheriff's payroll system and illegal sale of seized guns. Officials say the allegations are not criminal and don't support criminal charges.
Drivers in Danville are going to see detour signs. Works beginning to replace railroad tracks. Griffin Street will be shut down starting at the intersection of Main Street North to Fairchild. That closure, it'll start Monday, the 23rd, and run through Friday, May 27th.
A fire still burning for nearly a week tonight. The new efforts to squelch the burning plant and mitigate the damage. And later, a dazzling comeback means a new direction for the show. The changes being made to the new Ringling surface. You'll be back here in 2.5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. The City of Springfield is moving forward with a controversial land purchase for the fire department. The land at 11th and Ash Streets will be used to build an additional firehouse. The cost must still be finalized following environmental cleanup fees as well as soil sample results. The property cost will be $80,000 with up to $480,000 in cleanup. As the fight to put out a fire at the former ADM ethanol plant in Peoria continues, the state EPA has joined the investigation to find the cause. The plant has been on fire for a week now. The fire department is working with plant owners to bring in demolition equipment, with demolition beginning as soon as the weekend. Firefighters will remain on scene until the facility is deemed stable.
Well, more free at-home COVID tests are now available. This follows 2 previous rounds of orders delivered in January and March, bringing the total number of available free kits to 16 per household. It only takes a couple of minutes to order. Go to covidtest.gov, enter your contact information and mailing address, and select Place My Order. If you don't have internet access or need additional help placing an order, there is a hotline you can call any day of the week. To the baby formula crisis now that is growing more dire, with 2 children now in the hospital after their parents could not find the specialized formula they need, given their rare intestinal conditions. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers are stepping in to help, calling hearings, pushing for $28 million in emergency FDA funding to boost staff, beef up inspections, and root out fraud.
We've got to figure out not only how to keep the supply available so that on shelves you have enough formula, but over the longer term, we got to figure out why this happened.
Make sure that there are not just 1 or 2 global companies controlling things, but instead that we have a lot of different producers in different parts of the country.
In the meantime, the FDA is ramping up imports, while Abbott, one of the largest makers, will reopen plants in several weeks. The shortage could, though, continue for months.
Well, a comfortably cooler night after the round of higher humidity this evening and a stray thunderstorm, but the stage is set for some fog. So, in terms of a snooze alarm Thursday, I'm saying 1 or 2 less, and I'll be discussing thunderstorms when I come back.
The silent voices of war still ahead. An inside look at the hospitals Ukrainian children wounded in the crossfire now call home. We'll be right back. A hospital seeing a growing number of those injured in the war in Ukraine, including a young girl celebrating her 10th birthday.
And a 15-year-old boy recovering from shrapnel wounds. As NBC's Jay Gray reports, many the only survivors of their family.
On her 10th birthday, Veronica is learning to use her hand again. After Russian tanks firing on her apartment in Donetsk left her with a brain injury and damage to her right side. But there are deeper wounds.
All her family died, and she only one who survived.
With an uncle and cousins from Kyiv now by her side, they celebrate not only her birthday, but survival. Veronica, just one of a growing number of civilians and soldiers showing up at this Lviv hospital. Doctors say their wounds are more severe than early in the war and fear Russian troops may now be using different, more powerful weapons.
We never had so deep wounds, so difficult fractures or amputated legs or arms.
15-year-old Igor rushed from his home in Donbass as the shelling started.
I ran, the shockwave hit me, and I fainted. When I woke up, I couldn't move.
Shrapnel from a missile lodged in his back and neck. After 2 surgeries, as he begins to heal, Igor doesn't share the carefree hopes and dreams of most his age.
At this point, I dream that the war ends.
No personal dreams.
The run on.
Jay Gray, NBC News, Lviv.
A Kyiv district court today began hearing Ukraine's first war crimes trial against a Russian soldier who took part in Moscow's February 24th invasion. Kyiv has accused Russia of atrocities and brutality against civilians during the invasion and said it has identified more than 10,000 possible war crimes. Russia has denied targeting civilians or any involvement.
Sweden and Finland officially applied to join NATO today. If approved, it would mark the largest expansion in 2 decades. The application will now be weighed by the 30-member countries. The entire process from start to finish usually takes up to a year, but NATO hopes to move it quickly.
Looking pretty sweet over South Shores right now. If you're outside, you know what? It's not hot. Yes, it's humid. But you know what? Temperatures are mostly in the 70s. You don't have the 80s on the docket. Matter of fact, where we haven't seen where we haven't seen the sunshine, still some locales, at least from Danville down through Paris, Mattoon, Shelbyville, still running on into the 60s. But even here, we'll see a little bit of sunshine before it goes down over the next 3 hours, and things will warm up to a late day high temperature. So, time being, the coverage area isn't great, but we are keeping tabs on a couple random showers developing. You have to squint to see it, but it's just south of Scott County right there. A little more in-depth coverage as we go through time. Not that it's going to be great. I wouldn't cancel any outdoor plans this evening based on that. You may be sweating just a little bit, but there'll be patches of clouds and a pop-up shower or thunder shower for the next few hours. Otherwise, great expanse of clear skies coming on in later tonight, but as the wind diminishes and that recent wet weather keeping the ground soaking wet, we run the risk of fog late tonight, first thing tomorrow morning. So 1 or 2 less snooze alarms. I don't think it's going to be all that terrible, but 1 or 2 less snooze alarms for the Thursday morning time frame. Otherwise, stormy weather off into the northwoods of Wisconsin, Iron Range of Minnesota. That stays off to our north. Pop-up thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon near Interstate 70 before our latest stationary front fizzles. But the next storm system, well, it's not what's happening out over Colorado. It's this guy right here coming on in through Vancouver Island. And yeah, that's a pretty big one in terms of real estate. It'll continue to tap into Gulf moisture, so the amount of cloud cover and wet weather associated with it will be on the increase. So again, not much more than a stray thunder shower tonight. Risk of severe weather, little to nothing. Kind of nothing is what I lean toward for the thunderstorms tomorrow. But come Friday night, well, damaging winds and hail, at least a possibility. So we'll keep tabs on that for you. So again, coverage area this evening, not all that terrific. There's your timestamp at 11 o'clock. Then some low clouds fog to kickstart our day tomorrow. There's some of the action close to Interstate 70 during the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. Otherwise, we're waiting until the tail end of Friday or Friday night to get wet. And right on in through Sunday, some hefty downpours. That purple shaded area is 1.5 bucks in the rainfall department. So yeah, those thunderstorms mean business. Before they come, once again, stray shower, thunder shower this evening, then more tranquil and comfortable, but watch for some late night, early morning fog. Once the fog is history, we keep tabs on that I-70 corridor for a pop-up afternoon, evening thunderstorm. Otherwise, holy moly, a lot warmer than today. Factor in the humidity, 18 other variables. Time of the day, how much wind, time of the year, sun angle, all that good stuff. Feels like temps near 90. Apex of the heat humidity feels like temps mid-90s. That's on Friday. Now, I can't rule out a lone thunder shower anytime after about 3-4 p.m. on Friday, but in terms of any damaging wind gusts or hail, Friday night, Saturday morning, that's the crucial time frame. So I think there's very limited action before 8-9 p.m. on Friday, if anything. And we could even hit 90 in some locations. But Saturday is a soaker. Heaviest of the rains in the morning, starts to taper off later in the day. We'll get the sun out on Sunday, but that's cool. My goodness, even look at nighttime low temperatures. And because we're in a progressive weather pattern, guess what? We're wet again later Tuesday or Tuesday night, Dawn.
A childhood dream reimagined, how one of the most famous circuses will look very different from today's kids than from those you or your parents may have seen when we come back.
Held as a major win for women in the soccer world today, and it wasn't on the field. The U.S. Soccer Federation has agreed to pay women athletes now the same as men, along with guaranteeing equal pay for both teams. The two teams will pool prize money for participating in the FIFA World Cup, and that money will be doled out equally. We asked if you want to see equal pay in more sports, and the majority of you say yes, you do. You can vote now at WANDTV.com/vote. And the sports world is gearing up for another weekend in horse racing. The second leg of the Triple Crown will take place Saturday at the famous track in Baltimore, Maryland. Kentucky Derby winner Rich Strike will not be running, making this the fourth consecutive year that there will not be a Triple Crown winner. Rich Strike will run, though, in the Belmont Stakes on June 11th.
The circus comes to town.
Making a comeback story that's still in the making. A show that you may remember from your childhood disappeared 5 years ago and now reinventing itself for a new season. The Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus announcing a new season, but with a much different look. After falling victim to changing times, Feld Entertainment, which owns the circus, discovered today's audience, well, they don't want animals performing or corny clown acts.
The great thing is that we've had a blank piece of paper to reimagine.
What we're seeing is huge demand for people to be in person and to see things that are real. We are bringing the best talent from the world into the production and bringing it to hometowns all around America.
The new Ringling Brothers Circus will feature human feats that dazzle, astonish, and bewilder, while at the same time engaging audiences with interactive social media within the show.
All right, look forward to that. The rain has moved out for now, but the weather is not out of the forecast.
That's right. Jim will have another look at when you can expect that in your 7-day forecast when we come right back.
Short-term concerns, the pop-up thunder shower this evening, but more miss than hit. Then a little bit of late night, early morning fog. Thunderstorm activity tomorrow afternoon is either side of Interstate 70. Then everyone gets in on the act Friday night and Saturday. Saturday's a soaker.
Oh, forget those outdoor plans then, huh?
I don't mind the rain, but
okay.
But baseball players
can't play
do.
ball in that, though. All right.
All right, thanks so much for being here at 5. We'll see you right back here tonight at 6.
See you then.